to another video. Now, I hope you all had a very good holiday season, whatever holiday it is that you celebrate, and I hope that you all had a very good new year. We're back again, and we're going to start off this year with a brand new band, a band called Alysia. Now, they contacted me just a little bit before Christmas, just before I took my my break, and asked me to have a look at their debut track. Now, I don't have much information about the band. All I can tell you is they are a 5-piece alternative band from Sweden. Now, they've asked me to have a look at a track called Chasing Shadows. I'm not sure what sort of genre this music is. All I know is they are an alternative band. That's all I've got to tell you. I do have lyrics for the track here. They come from directly underneath the original video, so in theory they should be accurate. So yeah, what a way to start off a new year, new band. Make a big difference from New Year, New Me, doesn't it? Less cliched. Anyway, so we'll jump into this track and see what we've got. So yeah, Alysia, Chasing Shadows. Let's have a look, shall we?
Sitting in this room with nothing left, trying to escape the feeling of nothingness. You took all that was good in me, trying to figure out just what comes next, trying to suppress the hurt within my chest. I give it all, but no one sees. Seeing the side of my enemy, it's time to pay for your felony. You never once showed me empathy. I will break free. Take all that's left of me. Joy shakes the shadows, break me, then leave me, babe. You made me whole. Take all that's left of me. Joy shakes the shadows, break me, then leave me, babe. You made me whole. Show is over, the curtain calls, waiting judgment as the darkness falls. I'll still bleed and I'll do it for you, trying to bring closure to it all, but it's not easy when you're feeling small. The stage is set for tragedy. Seeing the side of my enemy, it's time to pay for your felony. You never once showed me empathy. I will break free. Take all that's left of me. Joy shakes the shadows, break me, then leave me, babe. You made me whole. Take all that's left of me. Joy shakes the shadows, break me, then leave me, babe. You made me whole. As the last of the sunlight leaves me, rest my bones under dark skies. I know that whatever you say, I won't stay here left for dead. You took your shot and you made me whole.
Well, there you go. Chasing Shadows by Alysia. Now, that had a very sudden end. That just sort of cut right off. But I've said in the past, I like when tracks do that, but I don't think this cutoff was executed very well. It sounded like there should have been more of a fade out, because normally when a track just suddenly cuts off, it's like a very sudden, abrupt, sort of mid-riff sort of stop. This was like at the end of a riff, as it was just starting to fade out, and then it cut off. So the actual very end of the track was a bit jarring in a strange way, if you get my meaning. Now, as for the actual track itself, pretty good. You know, it's more of a sort of heavy rock than metal, I suppose. But I quite liked it. It's quite good. Now, the track itself seems to be talking about probably, it sounds very likely, a toxic relationship, possibly an abusive one, judging by how the singer appeared in the video. And as we all know, this is something I can empathise with quite strongly, because I've mentioned it many times before that I myself have been through quite a toxic relationship in a similar way. Now, the lyrics go, sitting in this room with nothing left, trying to escape this feeling of nothingness, you took all that was good in me. Trying to figure out just what comes next, trying to suppress the hurt within my chest. I give it all, but no one sees. So, you know, he's sitting in a room by himself, feeling completely helpless, trying to figure out what he needs to do now, because, you know, he's been pretty much stripped of everything. All his confidence, you know, everything has been taken away from him, you know, trying to escape this feeling of nothingness. And this is the sort of thing that you do feel in an abusive relationship. You know, if you've been violently or even mentally abused, you know, they strip you of everything. You know, they make you feel worthless. They make you feel like the lowest of the low. They make you feel hollow inside. You know, he says there, you know, you took all that was good in me. You know, I was a good person before I met you, and you've come along and you've just destroyed me. You know, there's nothing of who I used to be left, because you've basically killed that person. You've destroyed everything. It says, trying to suppress the hurt within my chest, I give it all, but no one sees. You know, it's like, I'm trying my best to get through this, but no one can actually see how much I'm struggling. No one can see how much effort I'm trying to put into, you know, keeping this sort of facade of, you know, appearing to be okay. You know, the whole fake smile sort of thing. It's like someone asks you how you're doing, you go, I'm fine. But inside you're falling apart. Because this is one thing I discovered, you know, when you've been in that sort of situation, you know, you always get people coming up going, how are you doing? And if you go, oh, I'm fine, I'm doing really quite well, thank you, they're like, great. But if they go, how are you doing? And you turn around and say, you know, I'm not doing very well, actually, you know, I'm really struggling, you know, what she's done to me or what he's done to me is really, they don't want to listen to it. All they want to hear is, I'm okay. They don't, you know, they turn around and go, you know, if you need someone to talk to, I'm always here. But as soon as you try and talk about it, they then turn around and go, you know, you're being a real downer, you know, and they don't want to listen to it. Which is something I discovered from quite a few people that I thought were very close friends. Anyway, it goes into what I can only describe as a bridge. It says, see inside of my enemy. It's time for you to pay for your felony. You never once showed me empathy. I will break free. So, I've seen inside you. I've seen who you really are. And now it's time for you to answer for what you've done. You know, you never once showed me empathy. You know, you had this false... Again, you had this sort of false facade of pretending that you cared for me, pretending that you loved me, pretending all this, that, and the other. But in reality, all you wanted to do was break me down, destroy me, and control me. Again, something I have personally been through. He says, I will break free. So, you know, I'm gonna come out of this. I'm gonna fight through this. I'm gonna come out of the other side. You're not gonna keep holding me down. Then it goes into the chorus, but they actually repeat that bridge bit first again. That bridge bit again. Say, "See inside of my enemy. It's time to pay for your felony. You never once showed me empathy. I will break free." Then it goes, "Take all that's left of me. You're chasing shadows. Break me, then leave me be. You made me hollow. Take all that's left of me. You're chasing shadows. Break me, then leave me be. You made me hollow." So, take all that's left of me. You've stripped me down. You've broken every part of me. You've broken my spirit. You've broken my heart. You've broken my mind. You've stripped everything from me. You're chasing shadows. There's nothing left. I am a shadow of my former self. There is nothing more that you can take from me. You're going to keep trying. You keep trying, but there's nothing more you can take from me. You've already taken it all. You've already destroyed it all. Break me, then leave me be. So it's like, you've done it. You've destroyed me. Just go away. Leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. You've taken everything from me. There is nothing more for you to take from me. So just leave me be. You made me hollow. You've stripped me of everything. I am nothing but a shell of who I used to be because of you. The show is over, the curtain calls, awaiting judgment as the darkness falls. I still bleed and I do it for you. I think there's a spelling mistake there. I still bleed and I do it for you. Trying to find closure to it all. But it's not easy when you're feeling small. The stage is set for tragedy. So, again, the show is over, curtain call. It's done. It's finished. It's over with. Just piss off. Just go away. Leave me alone. Awaiting judgment as the darkness falls. I still bleed and I do it for you. So, there's still this sort of... It sounds really counterintuitive, but when you're in this sort of toxic relationship, when someone is like abusing you, whether it's physically or mentally or something, there's still a part of you that goes, I still love this person. And it makes no sense. And this is one of the major things when it comes to abusive relationships. You always get that friend or that group of friends who say, why don't you just leave him, or why don't you just leave her? But there's a part of you that's going, yeah, but I still love this person. Even though they're doing this horrendous thing to me, there's still part of you that goes, I still love this person. And it's very hard to walk away, even though they're not good for you. And it's not something you could possibly understand unless you've been through it yourself. Because you see all these, for example, these women that get beaten by their husbands. Everybody's like, why don't you just leave him? And they're like, yes, but I still love him. Because there's that part of, they've manipulated you in such a way that they make you feel that you need them, that you're nothing without them. They've manipulated you in such a way that you almost feel dependent on that person, even though they are possibly the cruelest person you will ever encounter in your life. Yeah, it's hard to explain unless you've been through it yourself. He says, I still bleed and I do it for you, so I'm still suffering, but I do it for you because, you've made me feel like nobody else will ever want me, that you're the only person that will actually care about me. Trying to find closure to it all, but it's not easy when you're feeling small. Again, I relate so strongly to these lyrics. You're trying to get over it. You're trying to sort of put it away in the past. But the thing is, you've been broken so drastically, you've had every part of you stripped away. You've had all your self-esteem, your self-respect, everything has just been taken from you. So you feel worthless, and it's hard to sort of try and give yourself a confidence boost when you have none. You can't sit there and go, I am a good person. I deserve better than this. When you've been through this constant cycle of being told that you're worthless, that, no one could ever love you, this sort of thing. It's very hard to break that cycle. It is possible, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. What happened to me happened about 9, 10 10 years ago, and I do still struggle with like self-esteem issues. I struggle with confidence. You know, I can't walk up to complete strangers and, you know, start a conversation, you know, that sort of thing. It's very, very difficult. Then it goes back into that sort of bridge part. So, see inside of my enemy. It's time to pay for your felony. You never once showed me empathy. I will break free. Then into that chorus. Take all that's left of me. You're chasing shadows. Break me, then leave me be. You've made me hollow. Take all that's left of me. You're chasing shadows. Break me, then leave me be. You made me hollow. As the last of the sunlight leaves me, rest my bones under dark skies. I know that whatever you say, I won't stay here left for dead. You took your shot and you made me hollow. So, as the last of the sunlight leaves me, that sounds like, you know, as I approach the end of my existence, possibly, or, you know, as everything positive about me has gone, you know, just leaving me this dark, blackened soul, you know, this destroyed person, you know. I know that whatever you say, I won't stay here left for dead. You know, no matter what you say now, no matter what you do, you know, everybody knows that it's lies. I'm not going to sit here and remain what you made me, possibly. You know, I'm going to come back, possibly. You took your shot and you made me hollow. You know, you knew what you were going to do to me from the start. You had this planned from the start. You took your shot. You destroyed me. You broke me down. You know, you've done this to me. You've destroyed me. Are you happy now? You know, there's nothing more you can do to me. So, yeah, a very powerful song that, like I said, I can relate to quite strongly. As many of you know, I've spoken about it several times before, the what I went through. Now, I did like this track. You know, I think there's maybe one or two things, like just before it came into the chorus the first time, something about the music felt a little bit thin. You know, it felt like there should have been more of a build-up before it came thundering into that chorus. I mean, when it came thundering into the chorus, it sounded great. But it felt like there should have been maybe a little bit more of a build-up to it, possibly. I don't know whether it might just be the recording or what. I don't know, maybe the mixing. But there was something that felt just a little bit thin just before it hit the chorus. But again, it's not a deal-breaker when it comes to the song. I think it was a very good piece of music. I think it was a very good performance. You know, the music sounded great. The vocal performance was very, very good. I very much liked it. And, you know, it's a very impactful track to have as a debut track. Like I said, I think my main criticism of it is the way it just cut off at the end. You know, it felt a bit sort of afterthought-ish. It felt like an afterthought, you know. Because, like I said, normally when a band does a sudden cut off, it's normally sort of midway through a riff. This is like the riff came to an end and it was either about to fade out or it was about to start another riff, and they've sort of gone, oh, stop it here. You know, it felt like the cut off could have either been just a little bit sooner or maybe done a little bit later whilst repeating part of a riff. You know, there's something about that cut off that just didn't quite feel right. But other than that, you know, it's a very good track, a very good debut. I very much enjoyed it, and I'm intrigued to hear more from them in the future, where hopefully I can find out more about the band. But I can't really say much more about that, so I'll leave that as it is. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, maybe even subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And yeah, thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.